For most of our lives, the threat of nuclear war felt like a problem we were actually solving, right? Countries were signing treaties, arsenals were shrinking, and it really seemed like the world was stepping back from the brink. But what if I told you that in capitals all over the globe, the race for the bomb is back on? And the reasons why might just change how you see global security forever.
So the question is pretty simple. Why now? After decades of trying to put that nuclear genie back in the bottle, why are countries suddenly so desperate to get their hands on it? Well, the answer is a trend that's been quietly reshaping our world. And honestly, it's more urgent than you might think.
To really get our heads around this global shift, we have to look at two specific case studies. Two countries whose recent fates are sending a powerful and, a frankly terrifying message to every other nation on Earth.
Okay, right here, this is the core of the whole issue. On one hand, you've got Ukraine. Back in the 90s, they gave up what was the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world for security guarantees. Today, they're fighting for their very survival against a nuclear power. And on the other hand, Iran. They're racing towards a bomb, and by doing that, they're projecting power all across the Middle East, pretty much untouched by any direct military attack. For any other nation watching from the sidelines, the lesson seems brutally simple.
You see, for Iran, this isn't just about defense, it's about pure ambition. The regime sees a nuclear weapon as a kind of golden ticket. It's their way to become the undisputed leader of the Islamic world, the great protector of Shia Muslims, and the ultimate challenger to their big rival, Saudi Arabia. It's their path to the global top table.
And this is where the story gets really dangerous. The domino effect. Because the lessons from Ukraine and Iran, they are not being ignored. There's a growing list of countries, and some of them are going to surprise you, that are looking at this new reality and asking themselves one very simple question. Are we next? Just think about South Korea. They live under the constant shadow of a nuclear-armed North Korea. For decades, they put their faith in the US's nuclear umbrella to keep them safe. But now, as they start to question just how reliable that American promise is long-term, a really powerful argument is growing in Seoul. The only true guarantee is a bomb of their own. And then you have maybe the most profound example of all, Japan. The only nation to ever suffer a nuclear attack has been a leading voice for global disarmament for decades. But just look at their neighborhood now. A nuclear China, a nuclear Russia, and a nuclear North Korea. The pressure is so immense that even Japan is now forced to consider the unthinkable. I mean, if that doesn't show you how much the world has changed, I don't know what will.
This ambition stretches over to Turkey, too. Yeah, they're a NATO member, but Ankara has its own vision, its own goal of leading the Sunni Muslim world. And in the great geopolitical chess game of the Middle East, if their Shia rival Iran gets a nuclear weapon, Turkey feels like it just cannot be left behind. It's all about keeping that very precarious balance of power.
So what about Saudi Arabia, Iran's biggest rival? Well, they're an economic giant, but militarily, they're a bit of a lightweight. For years, they thought they had a clever workaround. They funded Pakistan's nuclear program in exchange for protection. But guess what? That protection never really showed up. So now, facing constant attacks from Iranian proxies, Riyadh is coming to a simple conclusion. If you want a job done right, you have to build the bomb yourself.
And hey, don't think this is just an issue for Asia or the Middle East. The tremors are spreading to Europe. Poland, staring right across the border at Russia, is openly talking about it. And even Germany, a country that's been a bastion of post-war pacifism, is having its first serious debate about the bomb in decades. This way of thinking is going global.
So with so many nations thinking about joining the nuclear club, it's probably a good idea to take a step back and remember who's already in it. Let's take a quick look at the current global stockpile, because the numbers, they're staggering.
Right now, the global stockpile sits at over 12,000 warheads. It's a huge number. And what's even more sobering is that almost 4,000 of those are considered deployed. That means they are ready and waiting, right now, on missiles or at bomber bases.
This chart here gives you the breakdown. As you can see, Russia and the United States hold about 90% of the world's entire arsenal. But other countries like China, France, and the UK have pretty significant stockpiles too. And notice the unofficial numbers for Israel and North Korea. Those are countries that have nuclear weapons but don't publicly admit it.
So the whole argument for getting these weapons, the entire sales pitch, is deterrence. The idea that if you have one, nobody will dare attack you. But what if that's an illusion? Let's just challenge that core assumption for a minute.
It's the critical question, isn't it? If having nuclear weapons is the ultimate security blanket,
then why do we constantly see nuclear-armed states, or states protected by them, still getting dragged into these brutal and really costly conflicts? I mean, just look at the evidence. India and Pakistan both have the bomb, but that hasn't stopped them from clashing on their border. You've got non-nuclear Ukraine bravely and effectively hitting oil refineries and military bases deep inside nuclear-armed Russia. And Israel, which everyone assumes has a nuclear arsenal, is under constant assault from Iran and its whole network of proxy militias. So here's the crucial point, the bottom line. This idea of total immunity is a myth. Nuclear weapons might deter an all-out nation-ending invasion, but they do very little to stop the kinds of grinding, proxy conflicts that really define modern warfare.
So if the bomb doesn't actually guarantee safety, why is the world still racing towards it? This brings us to the most unsettling part of this story. We've seen the logic, we've seen the illusion, so what on earth is the path forward?
It seems we're caught in what you could call the nuclear paradox. It's this powerful, really seductive belief that the only way to be truly safe, the only way to be respected on the world stage, and the only way to secure your nation's future is to own a weapon that has the power to end civilization as we know it.
And that leaves us with one final, chilling question. As more and more nations chase this ultimate form of security, are they just creating a world with more tripwires, more chances for miscalculation, and a much higher risk of unimaginable catastrophe? In our desperate search for the ultimate shield, are we simply making the world's most dangerous sword available to everyone?